Yo, what's good everyone? This is Ayo Boxing with Madiba, and this is a post-fight review for Mark Magsayo versus Brandon Figueroa. And this was an entertaining fight, a classic Philippines versus Mexico type of fight, but my prediction for this fight was correct. I thought that Brandon Figueroa would win by stoppage or points, and he won by points. And the reason why Figueroa won this fight is because Mark did not have a plan B if his power did not work. In this fight, Mark landed a lot of power punches, but none of them hurt Figueroa. In my prediction video, I said that Mark becomes a basic fighter when his power does not work for him, and that he has trouble fighting against pressure fighters who like to attack the body. I said that Mark winning this fight depends on if he has improved, meaning better stamina and conditioning, utilizing movement and footwork, and having a game plan. And this fight showed me that Mark has not improved at all. In the fight, Mark started off strong and had the most success in the first 3 rounds. He was utilizing movement to get in and out, he used angles to find openings and avoid getting caught on the ropes, and his hand speed and explosiveness allowed him to land big punches. However, by the 4th round, Mark started to slow down, and Figueroa's pressure and volume was getting to Mark. Figueroa was able to get inside and land punches to the body. He was able to pin Mark on the ropes where he would land his combinations, and he was forcing Mark into a toe-to-toe fight, a phone booth fight that favored Figueroa's style. Mark would find his spots where he would land his punches and be explosive, but Figueroa's pressure was non-stop. By the 8th round, Mark was clearly tired. In the 9th round, Mark was hurt to the body, and when it got to the championship rounds, Mark was clearly exhausted and overwhelmed by the constant pressure of Figueroa. Mark was getting hit by big punches to the head and body, and he was clinching and holding a lot, which led to point deductions in the 8th and 11th round. And he fell to his knees at least 3 or 4 times in the championship rounds, and some of those could have been ruled as knockdowns. Almost looked like he was on the verge of getting stopped, but he survived. Based on what I saw, it just seems to me that Mark's team had no real game plan other than power. What's the purpose of clinching and holding if you cannot fight on the inside? Overall, it was a good performance by Figueroa. He got a unanimous decision win, and he is now the WBC interim champion. The scorecards were too wide in my opinion. Figueroa clearly won this fight, but this fight was closer than what the judges had. I also thought that the point deductions were unnecessary, but Mark did get a lot of warnings before he got the points taken away. Figueroa will be fighting Ray Vargas next, most likely, since he is now the interim, therefore the mandatory for the WBC featherweight title, and I strongly believe that Figueroa will beat Ray Vargas. Don't get me wrong, Ray Vargas is a good fighter, but everyone who has faced Figueroa is always forced into a dogfight, and I don't know if Vargas can deal with that pressure. The real question is, where does Mark Magsayo go from here? He said in the post-fight interview that he'll be moving up to 130 next, and that makes sense. Mark has fought at featherweight for his whole career, and he almost missed weight for this fight. It's only natural for him to move up, but I have serious doubts that he'll become a champion or the next Filipino superstar at 130. His last 4 fights exposed that he doesn't have the skills, the boxing IQ, or the ability to improve in order to beat the top level opponents. The Gary Russell Jr. and Ray Vargas fights show me that he has trouble dealing with guys that can box and move, while the Julio Ceja and Brandon Figueroa fights show me that he has trouble dealing with pressure fighters that like to attack the body. And at 130, there are a bunch of guys that can box and move and can apply pressure. These guys at 130 will be naturally bigger, stronger, and more powerful as well. If Mark does not improve as a fighter, he will take more losses and then fade into obscurity. I like Mark. I want him to win. I want there to be another big Filipino boxing star, to be honest. But I don't think Mark Magsayo will be the one. Personally, I think he should give Gary Russell Jr. a rematch at 130, or maybe get a soft touch because he's on a 2-fight lose streak. But who knows, this is boxing, anything can happen. But thank you for tuning in with Ayo Boxing with Madiba. Hit like and subscribe, and more content's coming your way.